All right, guys. Welcome to another Sculpt and Chill on Wednesday. I had such a busy day. Was just working up until now. So this is basically an after work session now. So again, not a big plan, but let's see. Maybe we can load in another tool. I really like this this model of Ryan Kingsline. That's kind of cool. So let's just, is this like one piece? Okay. Let's just add it to the scene. Sometimes, I think, especially when you start sculpting, it's really cool just to, take a skeleton or a skull if you're modeling a head, just put it inside and then get a better feeling of like proportions and where stuff sits. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to have a little more to play with. Who knows? I'll see. I don't know. Maybe a bony design this time? Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we like uncover or how much we actually show. I just like to have like some other stuff in the scene. You don't know what it does to your head, right? Because I actually like, starting these like scenes and not really having like a big plan of what I want to do and just like improvising. So yeah, let's see. Let's start this kind of push and pull from the beginning that I really enjoy. I always do. Just need some more mass. I don't know if this is even smart. Maybe I just append a sphere here. Kind of separate these. Whoops. I know, it doesn't have to be like too specific. Woo, what a day. Man, I think I almost missed my own stream. I was up until now working and there was so much stuff to do. So yeah, kind of happy I made it to my own stream. But it's also good because yeah, now it's, designing without a brief, without like oftentimes when working for clients, that this whole stage, the concept stage, ideation stage, is over, and then it's more about production and or animation and all this other stuff. Like the pipeline, the design and concept phase is usually, like for me at least, the shortest. It's maybe a few days of back and forth, and then I often have something that the client likes, and then we kind of move forward with that. So yeah, maybe we actually looks already creepy if we push this inside. I don't even know if I want something that much of a skull back there. But it's definitely a creepy start. I kind of like the idea of exposing more of the whole like neck area. So maybe we actually go back in here to this model and get like some more muscle parts. This is all like inside. This looks good. Let's just merge down a couple of times. Yeah. Okay. What about this part? I kind of hope that they were like somehow aligned, like in the hierarchy, you know, where they are, because I don't really need these parts, but maybe some more. No, maybe the delts. Some back muscles. And then just merge down. Let's steal some stuff to work with. What about the pecs? Merge down. I think this is good. Merge down. Okay, cool. And now with the subtool active, we just kind of move them over. So append. Nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, what do we got here? This is also from the stuff we moved over. I think I will get rid of some parts. I don't want the arms. Or the tries. Okay. Delete hidden. I think I will do the same for here. I feel like going for like a full character kind of thing is always hard for a stream. I want to come up with something during the stream and maybe even go for like rendering at the end. And I like this, just this idea of, you know, what can I do in a certain amount of time? What can I achieve in an hour or two? I kind of like that. All right, delete hidden. Let's see, let's see. So we threw a lot of stuff in here already. So I feel like I have to like merge some stuff together. Because I don't want to like focus too much on all the things we just added. So I think I'll just go in here and actually merge all this together. Dynamesh. You know, when working with parts, with already like existing parts, I'm always afraid that like to overwrite like my own idea and what I want to do too much. Maybe I'm also scared. I mean, kit bashing is definitely valid and a good strategy. Also a good strategy for concepting and coming up with stuff. But I just feel like I'm always scared that it overwrites what I want to do, or it becomes like too dominant. So yeah, this is why I'm like getting rid of details here. I just want some volumes to play with. What a cute smile. Yeah, definitely like a very happy dude already. So I think this kind of this separation line here from the like for the mouth area would be like very important, I feel, concerning like how this whole like expression will feel like. But I don't want to worry too much. I talked to this with like an illustrator earlier in the morning, that it's so easy to become afraid doing a process, and then you hesitate, and then all of a sudden you don't really do things anymore because you become so afraid that you sabotage kind of your own process. And it doesn't matter if you're like an illustrator or a 3D artist. I think you have to gain this kind of confidence in yourself to trust like whatever you come up with will be good, will be fine. That you can solve everything, even though maybe sometimes some stuff is broken or doesn't work out. You can, you know, rebuild it, solve it later, to be like free in this kind of concept stage of like just having fun and trying things and not worrying too much. I think this is very, very, very important. Actually want to have like much more pronounced eyelids here. Oh, I'm still trimming. Yeah, nice. Edge polish. Okay. Kind of scary. I think I will get rid of this like super scary dark kind of look. It's just something like I don't like that much from my personal stuff. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, doing like a creature or a very dark kind of design would be like fun to do. But most of this time, like my personal work, I don't know. I'm not drawn to it. This looks weird. This looks like a lip. Interesting. I actually like this kind of depth it has here. I think it could also be very interesting later on when like lighting the scene. Maybe some stuff inside could emit light as well. Let's make this a little thinner. Okay. There's already like a lot of stuff in the scene. So I think I will introduce some color. Let's just append this here. What do we start with? I don't know. Green, orange, red. Maybe something dark at first. Let's start with a darker color. Last times I introduced some kind of hair and it was always colorful. Maybe this time the hair is actually black. Oh, whoops. Didn't have symmetry on. And then, I don't know, something else in the scene will have like the most color. Maybe this kind of neck area we have here, maybe something that happens here will have color. Again, there's no concept or anything. It's just see what works and what you can get away with, or what I can get away with. Okay, let's copy that one and also mirror it. Okay. I feel like there's so much stuff happening in the mouth area and the neck that we can be like, you know, can go a little easier on the top of the head. and have like less detail there. Because this is clearly the area of focus. This is where most of the stuff happens. Does this guy have ears? I don't know. Guy or gal? I don't know either. Kind of like the look and feel. Looks a little bit like a samurai or something. Oops. Let's go off symmetry here. Just very, very quick. Nothing too fancy. Oh yeah, and ZBrush just reminded me with that autosave that I need to save. I somehow, when I stream, I always forget to save for some reason. So let's save this scene really quick. I actually like saving tools recently. I don't need to have like the whole scene and everything. And it's much smaller file sizes, so let's see. To create a new folder, stream. Let's call it Samurai. Why not? Stream Samurai. Samurai 01. Okay. Ah. All right, let's introduce some more color. Maybe let's pick this kind of darker one, go for the face, fill it with white. And then we paint on top. These kind of dark eyes already look cool. Maybe also the bottom part, I don't know. All right. Looking good so far. Give the eyes a color. Do we go for color here? That's the question. What about the skull? I don't know. I feel like red. I think red could be very cool. But not on this back part. Maybe the whole muscle area could be red. That's already going into an interesting direction. Hey, Dr. Tramakit, welcome. Glad to have you around as well. Yeah, something like that. Something. It's a vamp. It definitely looks like a vampire. Yeah, true. Maybe let's append a sphere here. Also make it red. Put some kind of fancy jewelry or so into the hair. Or maybe, let's see. Around welt. Whoop. I don't want to worry about this too much, just very quick. We have something in place. Maybe it's actually creepy if this is like eyes. A little bit. Yeah, maybe something like this. Looks kind of weird. Let's make it simpler again. Also probably good, especially at that stage, to not have like too much detail on a jewelry piece. And it looks like everything revolves just around that. I think that's much better. Okay. Then just place it here. Let's just put it there for now. Also looks a little bit like a flower. All right. Do we keep this? When these look like teeth. Do we need that? Looks kind of okay. Is it too weird if we push this even further out? Let's see. Not as bad as I imagined, but I like that this upper part looks more like an upper lip, like a little bit at least. Okay. I actually think the same about the face as like with the rest. If there's so much happening down here, maybe the face overall should be quite simple. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's get to the mouth. Tafsa, hey, welcome, mate. Happy you could made it too. How are you today? Whew. Was a very busy day. So I mostly did like client work, and then wasn't sure if I could make it to my own stream. But I'm happy I did. I'm really happy I did. So now this is like an after work session celebrating a pretty good day. I think made some like very decent progress. And I always just underestimate how much I enjoy these live sessions, you know, without any particular goal. Kind of relaxing. So another reason for me to like stick to the plan and stick to streaming if it feels so good, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's all a mix. I also still feel like I'm still like recovering from this like very intense like first part of the year. And I think you know, lots of designers do this, that, you know, they have a very intense job, a very intense client, or are like art blocked, cannot work, feel stressed out, whatever it is. And then you always tell yourself like, oh no, it's okay, you know, you just have to rest a little bit. But I think we kind of underestimate how long that stuff can take. And it's okay to push. I really enjoy working a lot because I love what I do. But I think we all have to learn to like take care of ourselves, and there is no formula, there is no rule for that. Some people like are easier stressed out than others. Some people obsess or stress about different things, you know. So it's all a process. I actually like this kind of edge here that goes all the way down. Okay, so let's see what we can do down here with like the skull. I don't even know, maybe we can split things up a little bit or introduce some more parts to make this area here more interesting. For some reason, I like this kind of workflow a lot. I feel like there are like two things I like there, especially either you make this like one object like bigger again, you know, to have more to like sculpt with and not worry too much about like the thickness of the object and all that stuff. Because we started from a skull. So I don't want to be like affected by the side of backface masking. And I think backface masking does not really work with Sculptris Pro, right? Yeah, it doesn't. Just automatically turns it off. Yeah. And that's so sad because I really like this kind of Sculptris Pro feature. But this backface masking makes stuff harder, I feel. Okay. So I just added some more volume. Sculpt like on top easier. I don't know. Maybe what I also like doing is just like copy one part to have something to fall back to. And then again, you allow yourself to make mistakes, right? You allow yourself to mess up the canvas again and play and just see if some things stick or not. And I think that's very important. That's what I tried to say earlier, right? As an artist, it's also a lot about confidence. When I started drawing, I felt like it was very important to gain confidence in your strokes. So when you want to draw a line, just commit to it and draw it. Because once it's on the paper, it's there. And you have to gain like this kind of confidence that whatever you want to draw, whatever you want to put there right now, whatever you have in mind, you can do it. And then your lines will get better because you have the confidence. But if you think you can't do it, then yeah, you will struggle a lot and your whole workflow will slow down a lot. Love the sensei vibes in combination with the samurai style. Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, it also helps me a lot thinking about my own design processes and what works for me and what doesn't. And especially after like a harder phase, or if things don't go as planned, thinking of, you know, how can you get back in shape? How can you make things work? I know, I see so many artists struggling, especially because everything has become so fast and there is some kind of output that is expected of them. But I think this is two different things, right? I think everyone is an artist. We all love to create stuff in like different areas of life. But as a designer, you have to be able to just flip this kind of switch and then work and show up and come up with stuff. This is why I'm also like such a big fan of consistency, you know, of just putting in the hours. Sometimes you don't know what for, or you're not happy with like a particular sculpt or something. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like showing up is just so important because we actually have to learn to show up for ourselves. And just start. Getting kind of lost in details here, so I want to avoid that. Don't want to work on details. Maybe it is time to switch to another subtool. I think we can work on this whole neck area now. Okay, I think I need some more topology here. Whoops. Then I can draw a mask. All right. So let's use this for now and work with these like neck muscles. I really like the overall flow of these. So maybe we can even like create more. It doesn't have to be realistic. I just want to probably use them and maybe they kind of become cloth or so. So I'm not even sure if I need this whole back part that we built here. So I think I would just get rid of it. Easy as that. Delete, close hole with the right color. And just have the confidence to make big changes, not getting stuck. I also like that we see the vertebrae, but only like composition wise. I don't actually think I want to have like the vertebrae here, but maybe we can just select a few. And push them forward. I just take the whole spine. And split it. And now I can move it forward just for the head. Again, for me, it's not about having something that is anatomic. How do you say that? Anatomy wise, anatomically correct. But it's more about the shapes and colors and contrast. Damn, dude, that looks so cool. Thanks, man. Anatomically, right? Or oh. Okay, maybe we just dynamesh this with groups on. Maybe a little more. Oh, a little more with groups on. Yeah. Then we can just use the smooth, but not with sculpt, with proactive. All right. So I like this whole like neck part, but there's always the but. I'm not sure about the shoulders. Maybe we actually close this one off. Maybe there's a code or something. And then we see this kind of area here. I don't know. Or maybe we push that all back. Oh yeah. Let's make this like... Because if you have something like this, same for like robots and stuff, right? It's really, really cool if we get like negative space because we can look through. For robots, if you do like a robotic design, and then sometimes it's a question, is it actually a robot or is it just a man in a suit? So I kind of like when you can actually, look through. So maybe we take this back part here and separate it. First, we can see like what it looks like if we don't have it. It's interesting. But maybe we just use this piece and turn it into something else. So this was all one polygroup. I see. No, I want it to be like separate polygroups. Split in. I just want to have this middle part. Okay, and now let's get rid of the center. Delete hidden. Close holes. And now maybe we can turn this into some kind of cloth or so. This could actually... Finally here on time. Welcome, mates. Happy to have you. Okay. Whoops. So I like the fact that we can now like look through. That's nice. And I want to have this as some kind of cloth. Maybe it goes even like more to the front, like so. But now it looks very muscular, very strong because of that neck, right? So we have to make this slimmer again, I feel. Nox has the craziest style. I take that. Thank you, man. I mean, there's certainly like a lot of cool stuff out there. So for me, I think I even wrote that on Twitter, right? That I'm like trying to how did I put it? I think I wrote trying to overcome my own like imaginary limitations, because that's often what it feels like, right? What do you allow yourself to imagine? I feel like it's so easy to get stuck in things we usually do, usually like, and then all of a sudden it all looks the same. We don't experiment anymore. Man, I suck at ZBrush, but I love watching you work. Thank you so much. I mean, I do the same. I think it's like super satisfying also to watch like time lapses and stuff. I just learned so much from it. That's the next part. I think I learn a lot from watching time lapses. But it's also just very satisfying. Okay, what do we still see here? Probably the chest part, right? Yeah. Let's get rid of those. Auto groups. Yes, I want to isolate these. I don't need it delete hidden. I mean, these could also look super awesome. Maybe we can use that somehow. Split hidden. Because we don't see them now. But maybe they can be used somewhere else. You feel the same because you don't always have time to sculpt or to be around. But yeah, that's why I upload the stuff on. I really like this. This is why I stopped talking. Upload the stuff on YouTube. But I also get that it's a different kind of feeling, right? From like being here, chilling, relaxing, being able to ask questions. Or maybe just watching and then having a good time. Or starting to work. I really like this. It also feels like feathers. Let's clone this. I'm not sure. There are like many things that look kind of cool. What if we go like crazier in terms of scale? I like it. Whew. The excellent cyberpunk geisha? Maybe. An axolotl? An axolot? Where do you see it? Is that the head? Okay, so what started as a muzzle is now some kind of feather shape. Whoops. Yeah, I think it all started with the hair. Then I called the file like a samurai, and since then we move more and more into this. I always push like the wrong button here. Into like some Japanese inspired artwork. But it almost feels like too much red now, because this is all like becoming one big shape, and I don't like it. So I started with this one in red as well, but now I'm not so sure anymore. Maybe even like a little bit brighter, more contrast, and then kind of push that back. Ah, I see. So you had ZBrush in college, but went for animation and VFX now. That's super cool. And it makes total sense that you work with 3ds Max and Maya. I mean, I know like a lot of professionals who still do it. Is it still like because all these softwares have like changed so much or developed so much? Is it still because like those were there from the like very beginning, or are they just have the best uh animation tools and rigging tools out there? What do you think? I think cinema has improved a lot in terms of rigging, but it still feels like it's not the same. And Maya just seems to be like the go-to for most people. But also, yeah, at some point you have to kind of decide and specialize, for something. And I think it's okay to not put that pressure on yourself to like you have to kind of do it all. A long time ago, I made that decision that I want to focus on design and modeling and sculpting, because it's what I enjoyed most. I'm sorry. I've set an alarm. Well, Maya is really user-friendly. Is it? I thought like they're super complex and people get lost fast. Okay, this is interesting. Have to push this more. Now it has these kind of cloth vibes again. Like a little better flow to the shape. I like that. It's kind of weird that the rips still show because I think we don't need them. Do we need any of this? Not sure. But I just push it in for now. I can worry about that later. Quick fix. You mainly work in C4D, but now want to wrap your head around ZBrush. I mean, yeah, especially now that ZBrush belongs to Maxon. I'm really curious to see what they will do in the future to yeah, make this workflow better, more effortless. I don't know in what way they can like really like benefit from each other. But I think it could be really, really cool. Ah, I see. So you had Max first and when you were studying. I mean, I also think once you have wrapped your head around certain things, for example, in animation, there are like certain principles, and you probably have these principles like over and over and over again. Same for modeling. It doesn't matter if you learn modeling or like polygon modeling in Cinema 4D. Once you can do it there, it's probably much easier to pick up and transition if you want to switch to Blender or anything, right? That's probably also why this kind of transition felt easier, maybe. Oh, I actually like this as a round shape at the top, and then we have this kind of spike here. I like that. Oop. Hey, O'Shange, welcome. You're still sad that Maxon bought Pixelogic, even as a Maxon user? Yeah, I also had like mixed feelings about it because, yeah, Pixelogic supported these free updates for years and everything, and they seemed like they really loved what they do and really enjoyed it. Like company-wise, you know, it seemed like they had something going that was really, really cool, but very, very rare in these times. But yeah, seems like that it was just not, or simply not a business model that was able to compete anymore. Which is sad. But let's hope they make the best out of it. And be a little optimistic. Yeah, I also think so. I mean, like once you have like once you understood certain principles, then it's much easier to adapt. Yeah, well, that's hard to tell, because I still remember that when I was employed at like I worked as an infographic artist for quite some time, but with a focus on 3D stuff, and it was kind of hard for me to understand where the company was headed and some of the decisions they made. But it's also due to a lack of seeing what they see sometimes. And then there's also like the business side of things. And so there's just simply a lot of stuff that we do not know and that we do not see. So for example, when Waxen changed their whole like system for their programs, they also introduced a completely new core to the program. And stuff like this is a huge commitment to a product if you completely reprogram your program's core. But they kept like the updates coming, and since they are having this kind of subscription, they're not just sitting there and chilling and now it's cool, we have a subscription model now. No, they really ramped up the updates and the scope of the updates and the pace of the updates, and then I think it's okay. If you switch to subscription, yeah, and if you benefit from it, let us benefit from it as well, in terms of that now we get better upgrades, faster upgrades. But yeah, I totally get where like some of the frustration is coming from. Whoops. I mean, yeah, if you have to model like your own head, it's even probably, I mean, you save tons of time now with like photogrammetry and stuff. I totally get why you did it. 100%. Like I asked that myself, right? If I would model myself, I don't know if I would actually wanted to start from zero. Let's do this stuff again. Bump the resolution up, groups and dynamesh. We have more to work with here on these like on the rib cage shapes. Maybe we can isolate the collarbones and do some shenanigans with them. Yeah, split hidden. You just mask one side and then push that over and then mirror and welt. I mean, it definitely depends on the package you're using, right? I think if you did like the upgrades before on every version that came out, I think it was even more expensive than having the subscription model. But yeah, I totally get it. I mean, this account, this is for all subscription based models, right? So what do they really do with it? Does it really help? I mean, it certainly helps them because of a more steady income, and something to plan around with. But yeah, again, hard to judge. I feel like what's it really do, and how much do we benefit from it? What happened? It depends. How long have you been away? So let's split master points. I want to merge these somehow. It kind of looks weird if it just ends here. So let's probably mask one side. And then move this over. And then mirror, mirror, and welt. And then let's dynamesh this thing. Your Instagram got deleted this week and you have no idea why. Wow. First thought that comes to mind, community guidelines. But yeah, I think overall it's really weird what like all these, like lots of these social media platforms are doing, because they literally have like no support. And if they ban your account or whatever, then what can you really do? It's hard to talk to anyone or get anyone on the phone or mail or whatever and just figure out what actually happened. And you don't even have the opportunity to make a statement on you know, on what you did, or if it was like, you know, the right thing to do. Have you published something weird? You unfollowed a handful of people. And that's the question of if your account was like actually shut down or you just blocked, because Instagram has something that it's called like action blocks. If you perform too many actions, like unfollowing like a lot of people, then this could be, then you're action blocked. But this doesn't block like your whole account. I think like some messages just got deleted. I think links are deleted automatically because it's hard for me to, you know, to see what you guys actually put there. This is why I made the bot like pretty strict. I mean, I think it's hard to tell. Don't you have like an opportunity to like kind of contact them and say like, you know, what did you do? Because I know some artists who have been blocked because Instagram just automatically flagged their content as something like something offensive, but it wasn't. It was just simply the algorithm, you know, thinking that there was something, whatever that was. It wasn't the link. Maybe it was too many messages at once. I don't know. I definitely have to look into this bot again, because I've seen this like a couple of times. That something gets deleted and the person gets timeouted immediately for a long time. Oh, you were writing why he might lose his account. Oh. So what was in your text that it got banned or and then timeouted? Maybe you can explain it differently. All right, guys, I'll be back in a second. I just need to go to the toilet. So, see you in a bit. Oh, damn, you tried again and it didn't work? Yeah, it's a difficult topic, I think, with like censorship. I mean, yes, you clearly see that they have like a lot of power over it. Yes. And especially like all this automated stuff, I think is pretty weird. But on the other hand, I think we have like no clue what people would do if all this stuff would not be in place. And I think it would be like some of the like most horrible things you can imagine that suddenly would end up or would show up visible like for everyone. So it's these things, they're there, they're put in place, and they feel like they're like super restricting. But once they're gone, you're probably like, damn. So this is what they kept from us all the time. That was probably a good thing. Or this is the reason why they are so strict. I mean, yeah, sure. I would also prefer debate and talking about it. Just like with the accounts, right? If your account gets banned, then first thing they should do, maybe sometimes before they ban you, is actually like confront you about it. So you actually have a chance to talk about it. But then again, I think it's very hard because these companies have become so big that maybe even something like support is like super hard to pull off, because 50% of 50, probably 90% of the time, people would just have like super simple questions. I mean, sometimes I put something in a story and explain it, and then in the next story, people ask me, "Oh, what is that? Or how does it work?" So I just explained it, and I think that's the problem also with that some people, like, they go too fast. They want to have like an easy solution, an easy answer from somebody very fast, and they don't put in like the effort themselves. And I think this is also why like a lot of supports have been like shut down, which is super sad. I agree. I think it's horrible. I also had like some unpleasant experiences on social platforms, and you're just not able to talk to anyone. That's super frustrating. But on the other hand, I can probably understand why it has led to that, I also believe in the goodness of people, and I'm also trying, I'll trust you until I don't. But I've also met people in life that were like really, really evil. You can't imagine. With like such evil intent from the get-go, just to get the best out of you for their own personal gain. And there's even stuff out there that is much, much worse than that. Especially now, with AI, where you can, generate a lot of stuff. One of the most important things is actually kind of making sure that people do not create horrible shit. And this is why they have put in like a lot of time to make sure that people either can't or they're getting banned really quick, or the algorithm, realizes it early enough so that all this stuff does not end up on the internet. But especially with AI, it has become even easier. I mean, it sounds bad because yes, of course, we do not want to be regulated. We want to talk about stuff, yes. But oftentimes the world is not that simple. And we just have to be aware that there are a lot of things that we simply don't know. And we're not aware of. In order to like make smart decisions about a certain topic. I feel like I'm just pushing and pulling around stuff because the topic is something intense that you have to think about a lot, actually. So let's try to focus on how I can fix this kind of inner part with these inner muscles. I mean, it looks interesting. Let's isolate this. Maybe try to do something different with it. Whoops. Yeah, that's the one. What a crazy shape that muscle has. I don't know the name, but it's crazy how it attaches to like these vertebrae up here, I think, right? Anatomy is something like really, like very oddly fascinating. If you look at it, you feel like the way it's set up is just has something mesmerizing to it. One off-topic question, you can ask off-topic stuff. I'm like perfectly fine with that. But what do you mean with headphone hair? Oh, you mean like all these like dents you have? I think that's totally dependent on your headphones. I mean, like since I have like these from Apple, I feel like it's not that hard. Yeah. You cut it off. The best fix is to go bald. Split hidden again. Yeah, to be honest, there is no fix. But I think I cannot not work without headphones. It's for me it's impossible. I really need uh the noise canceling. For me that's just too good. I can't imagine a world without noise canceling anymore. It's just too good. Especially when living in a city. Or in a city like Berlin where they're like building new stuff all the time and it's just loud. Whoops. Did a little mistake here. Just wanted to separate these. Split. Yeah, I'm born in Germany. And pretty much lived here all my life. I think the biggest exception was like when I was studying, I was able to go abroad for a semester, which was really awesome. So I spent 6 months in India, and that was amazing. Really weird at first because it was so different from everything I knew. But once you like allow yourself to like let loose and get into it, it was just amazing. Definitely an awesome, awesome part of my life to be able to go there and from like many perspectives, right? So different in every kind of way. And that was so refreshing. Damn, I thought you were going to say Great Britain or USA. Thank you so much. I always think I have a very strong accent, so I'm happy to hear that you think otherwise. But I'm trying to expose myself a lot to English, like, you know, having all my programs in English, all the programs I use. I watch every movie and series in English, and just, you know, having it around all the time, being exposed to it all the time, I think helps out. It's probably the best way to learn any language, right? Just expose yourself to it, and it's very particularly easy with English. But it's also really weird because at some point I started understanding what people sing and rap. I was not good at English at school. I picked it up after school and during studies, and also in this year abroad, semester abroad. All Germans have the same specific accent, but I wouldn't guess you were from Germany. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I think I don't have this like very typical one, because this one also drives me crazy. I can't even imitate it. It's really weird. Yeah, I definitely had people in school who were like talking like this. Drove me crazy. I really like these kind of shapes here. They look super cool. Can we scale them up and use them again, or would this be like overkill? Maybe as a way to like introduce the wings at the top. I don't know. Yeah, you had it in middle school. Where are you from? I had English and French, and I almost forgot everything I learned in French. It's just all gone. And I think I had it for like 5 years. That's so sad. It's just gone. Like I never had it. Serbia. Nice. Did you choose to have German in school, or was it just the way things were set up for you? But I also think like from what I know like a couple of friends who had to learn German, and damn, it seems like a very hard language. I feel like this is too much. Or let's leave it for now. This is probably something that I'll fix in Cinema4D later anyway. Okay, this is interesting. What about this like last shape in the back? Is this like isolated now? Yeah, it's just these. Can we get rid of them? Do we need them? Yes, we kind of need them. But maybe we can push them more aside. And now we see like these rips on the inside. We probably don't need this whole thing, right? We can just oh yeah, we need the middle part. Then let's just isolate this one. What about these? That's cool too. Let's just delete it, and I think we don't need it anymore. And then get rid of all that. mirror and welt for now. Okay. Woo! I don't even know what time it is. Let's check really quick. 1.5 hours into the sculpt already. Okay. Everybody learns English and German. Okay, I see. It's way harder than English. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm so lucky that I didn't have to learn like German grammar and stuff. It seems so weird. Even I only do it, and I've never actually thinking about grammar and how it's set up and what is what. It's just the way I learned it. But this is also like the benefit from learning something like intuitively, right? That you do not think about like certain technicalities, and that's why it's so much easier to pick up. And that's what I find kind of weird. I think maybe it's hard to do, but I feel like learning something intuitively is just super powerful. I learned a lot of English probably subconsciously while just listening to stuff, applying it without overthinking. I actually think that's how I made like most of my progress learning English, just applying it and not worrying. You're happy you don't have to learn Serbian grammar? Is that even worse? Okay. So I kind of like what we have here. It's a problem if you like something, because then you don't make changes anymore. But maybe this is a good stage to go into Cinema4D. Or maybe I split the eye area. Yes, I will do that. Let's split this eye part. Is that an eye socket? Yes, there is. Okay, that's a little harder. How do I do it? This is the kind of point where I'm thinking like, okay, do I retopo it in Cinema and then set everything up? Is that actually easier? Maybe I don't have to worry about the eye socket that much. Just smooth it like all out. Will be kind of weird. Yeah, I would just split it here and see. Let's just try that. Kiki fanboy, hey Nox, and thanks for the prime. Welcome, mate. Did you try OCIO? No, what is that? Is it a specific for better results on lighting? Is it like within Cinema4D and with any renderer you use, or? I think I will split the eye area and then we go to send it over to Cinema4D, see what it actually looks like. So I want to have this part separated. Let's make a very quick kind of selection here. And then we probably mask it out. Ooh, always getting nervous when I draw something with like one swoop with a mask. But it doesn't have to be perfect. We can fix like the outlines and everything later on. So this is what it looks like. Let's give it another poly group. It's a plugin. I mean, I'm already like 1.5 hours in and I want to be done with the sculpt by like 2 hours. So I will not watch the video now, but I'll watch it later. What was it? What does it do? Okay. So what would it do for me? What kind of problem does it solve? Because I use Octane for rendering. Actually, I don't have to worry about like the sculpt of the eye itself, because when I separate it, I will have it. And then I can fix it. Let's just make this like a little thicker. Okay, now the problem is that the inside part here also has a different poly group. So we have to get that. So let's isolate it and then isolate this part. And now it's a little weird, but I think we got it. I think that looks good. So now we can give this all like one poly group and then it makes splitting easier. Ah, I see. Ah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's a more realistic lights for like the black and white parts of the image. I think I just know it under like a different term. Is it like aces or something? Is that similar? Split hidden, close holes, and now we kind of push this in. Ah, yeah, okay. I wanted to try it. I think it was just that I so far did not take the time for it. And I thought like, you know, with the stuff I do, which is like oftentimes like a much more like simpler look and feel to it, not necessarily rendering something super realistic. But you're definitely right. I should look into that. I've seen some renders with it and the result was definitely amazing. Okay, now we have these parts. Close holes. What do we get now? We have now this kind of shape inside. We want to push it all the way behind the eye, right? Is that smart or is it stupid? We have some weird artifacts at the top. Should we ignore them? It doesn't have to be like the perfect eye socket. Let's just see how we can... I think it was just artifacts that are like smoothened out if we go over it. I also haven't saved for a very long time, I just realized. I have never done it this way, like taking the whole eye socket, you know? But I want to try it this time. So that's why I'm using backface masking here to separate this inner part from the outer part. Because this is all inside of the object, right? We shouldn't have to worry like too much. Let's fill this all with like darker color. and see what this looks like separated. Now we probably just have to move it a little. Again, using backface masking here. And this is quite quick and dirty. So if I really want to go for something cleaner, this is, for the faces, I mostly retopo like all the faces. Sometimes it feels like tedious work, but sometimes I really enjoy it, and it feels like very rewarding when you have something very, very clean to work with afterwards. Because most of the time for the work I do later, I really like it when it's like super, super clean, and then I can just continue with like some classic polygon sub D modeling. I just like the freedom I have then. Yeah, your fingers are automated to press Control 1 every 1 minute and Control S every 1 minute. That's good. I don't know why I don't, like, for some reason I don't do it, and I do it in cinema all the time. I could just save it as a tool. I do it in cinema all the time, but here for some reason I don't do it. That mini heart attack when you don't save and software stops for a second. Yeah, I'm feeling that one. That is so true. That is so true. And then in this moment, like, shit. I think in my other apartment, it's like a very personal story here. Yeah, in my other apartment, I had a neighbor, and I never saw him. And I was working on a file, and it crashed hard, and I wasn't able to recover anything, and it was literally like a half a day's of work just gone. And I just screamed at the top of my lungs, and I just screamed. And like a few days later, I met this neighbor like for the first time, and he literally asked me like, "Are you the guy who was like screaming so much?" I don't scream much. It was just a weird week, I guess. I'm a happy guy. I'm a nice dude. Like, but when something crashes, I guess, I don't know. Retopo is actually hell, not gonna lie. I felt the same a couple of years ago, but now I actually enjoy it a lot. It's just something you have to stick with for a while, and then it's the same rules applied over and over. Trust me, just try to stick to it. At some point, it was almost like meditation. If you don't worry about it anymore, don't think about it anymore, then it becomes a very nice part of your progress, of your process. I actually like it a lot because at some point, you know, retopo can be like something that is very, it calms you down. Maybe the whole process, you know, is kind of lots of work, especially the more design work you have to do, the more thinking you have to do. And then when you go into retopo work, it's actually like the easier part. It becomes the easier part. You think ZBrush should improve GoZ for cinema? Yeah, I mean this is the thing, right? Now that they are under like the same roof, I hope that this whole like back and forth will become like so much smoother. That would be amazing. Especially concerning like paint and textures. Maybe also in terms of, you know, having like high poly meshes in your scene, which I feel like cinema struggles with. I once worked and finished a 2D character animation and overwrote it later. I've been there. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, oh my God. Yeah, because you literally cannot recover anything, right? I had that a couple of years ago while I was still employed, and oh my God, we lost so much time on that. Oh, I also had like, I don't know, it was a file that crashed, and then it didn't open anymore. So the file was actually corrupt. And then in all that, I made the difference and overwrote like an older file as well. So I lost like a lot of stuff. Yeah, so first thing I do now is like try to not panic. Like, okay, is it really that bad? But yeah, sometimes we are just like so in the moment, right? And you just think like, damn, you know, that's oftentimes for me, like when stuff goes wrong or program crashes, it's like literally like when I wanted to post something and then I'm like, damn, I only have like 20 minutes, you know, to do it all. And then it crashes. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I would have made it, but now this kind of screwed my whole schedule. Okay, we separated the parts. I think now we're ready to send this over to Cinema4D and see what this looks like with some lights. We should probably fix this kind of rib cage part we can still see here, but I don't want to invest like much time. Let's not overthink it. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. When I come back to this file. Run wilt. Okay. So let's see, maybe we can, you know, push these hair parts in a little bit more. I did them like in the beginning, like so quickly, but I actually kind of liked the way they looked the whole time and never went back to this hairstyle. So I think we just, yeah, keep it that way. Okay. Is there anything else in this scene that we don't see anymore? Oh yeah, we had these on the top. That's cool. Okay. We have a backup skull in there. We don't use that part. All right. So I think we have no real poly paint. I separated everything. So we'll just go to merge visible. And because we have 1.4 million polygons, I will do like a quick decimate. Pre-process. Water break. Oh, I'm excited. This moment when you send it over to cinema and see how this all looks like with lights. I mean, we have like I'm always working with like these matte caps that have their light information baked into them. So of course we kind of know what it looks like with rendering when we render it in here, but I still feel like it's a different story. We like setting up some materials and have more control with the light than you have like in here. So that looks good. Decimate, now we have 280,000. And we lost the color information, but that's okay. So let's send this over. Whoo! Getting excited. Oh yeah, and I switched to I have a single screen mode. Like most of the time, you know, I have like all my palettes on one screen, but I think it's better for you guys if I have like a single screen layout. But this is an older layout of mine. I don't have everything in here. Yeah, so let's see. So how big is this one? It's pretty big actually. So let's go back to ZBrush for now and see what kind of export settings I had. It's on a scale of 1. Let's do 0.1 and export again. This is also something that should, I think there are even tools to work with scale better, right? Or like 3D print and everything. There is a tool in here to have more control over it. Scale Master. It's actually called Scale Master. Yeah, but it's not really intuitive, I feel, especially like when used with Cinema4D. Now it's way too small. Yeah, probably half would have been good. Let's do 1.5, 0.5 and just stick with it. Let's go. Okay. Let's change the resolution here. Okay, cool. And create an octane sky. I also like to put everything into a null, like my whole lighting setup. I don't like to have my lights in the scene. So I call this composition. Put everything in there and then just turn it off so I don't have it visible in the scene. So let's select the texture. I really like this Skylit Garage. I think it's from Texture Haven for free. Has a very, very nice top lighting with barely any color information in it. So I like it a lot. And then let's create another sky, but just for visibility. Let's stick to that grayscale for now. Whew! Already looking interesting. So let's split this up. And this is where I don't have the button I'm looking for. So what is it called? Is it split to similar parts or something? Split. I made polygon islands. Polygon islands to objects. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Because now it takes all these islands. It's like a quick split. Probably should have deleted the material earlier. But now, yeah, now all these parts are separate, which is really cool. Then I can just go in here and delete all the stuff that is in symmetry, which is a lot. It looks super weird. Okay. And now we just put this whole thing in a null and a symmetry object, or at least like all the parts that need symmetry. So let's just select all the parts that don't, that are like merged together. Okay, this one as well. You can also take the eyes and the hair. And I think now we have everything. And now we can put this whole null into a symmetry object. Looking good. So that's the head. And now we can just drag and drop materials onto it, which I think is super, super nice. Is it lagging? Yes, it was. So let's create a very dark gray with no color information. And just throw it onto stuff. The hair as well. Then this eye area. I love working in grayscale. This already looks really interesting. So what was the setup we had here? Yeah, not that much color in it. At this time also not many different gray values. But I feel like this should have like a different value. So let's just clone this material and just make it a little brighter. Then throw it on top. Yeah, even brighter. But I want the face to have like a almost white, I think. Like a geisha mask, right? They have this kind of white kind of base. Blue back. Welcome. Oh, we have the bot again going crazy. Kiki fanboy, what do you want to share? Hey bro, you look amazing. Thank you so much. Happy to have you here. All right. Ooh. So in ZBrush we had a red. So let's throw the red in as well. Let's go with a very like classic red. High gloss for now. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. I don't even know if I want to put it on everything we had before. But yeah, let's just try it. Okay, so for some reason in symmetry it's harder to select all these. I should probably group these up again. Because I would probably not have them like separate, so I can just, you know, merge. Was this the merge and delete? Yes, it was. And I do the same for these feathers down here and just merge them together. So it's just one object again. Then we turn on symmetry. Whew, okay. That's very intense. I don't even know. I really like the grayscale version, but yeah, let's see if we stick to this or it's really, really intense. You were using Google Translate and then you pasted that, or what did you try? I'm not sure if I get what you tried. I actually like the gloss on the feathers, but that's probably too much. that's interesting. Would probably look good if we break this up with like a nice roughness map or so later on, but for now, I think that's cool. What I don't like is that the inside of the head is still so bright. But we can probably change that with the camera. So let's create a camera. Go for like a portrait. Yeah, for work in progress, I think it's okay. Nothing too fancy, just like from the front. For the feathers, you could make a material mix where the glass increases the roughness. Oh yeah. And the other is a glossy one. That could, introducing like some translucent materials could definitely look cool on feathers. I also like the look they have kind of now, but yeah, this is all up for change. I don't want to make like decisions like that right now. So let's go back. I wanted to do something else. Yes, I wanted to change the LUT so we have like more darkness inside of the head. And I also think that in the settings I have direct lighting. Let's switch to path tracing. Lower some of the values here. Just quickly, I don't want to think too much about it. Then go to the camera imager and actually start with a LUT. Let's see that we get some more contrast out of this. Interesting, yeah, but the inside stays like very bright. This is almost too strong. This is interesting. Too much blue, but we could get rid of it. Not changing with neutral response. Oh, we stick to gray. No. This is also interesting. So we have Clouseau. Let's look for another one and then compare the two. I feel like a lot of detail gets lost. Not a big fan of these bottom ones. So let's look back here. That was also too much. We could tweak that. This kind of looked good. I think this changes the colors too much, so I'm sticking to the first one for now. I don't want to overthink it. Just call this cam. You were live 10 minutes ago. 2 hours of streaming Cinema4D, 0 viewers. Yeah, it's getting viewers just from Twitch alone, I think is very, very hard. I think you need to have an audience already. I mean, I'm not doing this for a long time now. I just started this year, and there was a very, very big gap where I didn't stream at all. But yeah, when I go live, I tell it to people on Instagram and on Twitter and in my mentorship program as well. So yeah, now I'm on about like 10 viewers, which is cool. But I think even then, the most important part is to just keep going. I think consistency is the most important part. Have fun, enjoy yourself, have a good time. And if people join in, it's a lot of fun if people join in and ask questions and be like part of the creation process. 100%. This is where the stream becomes super fun. But yeah, I think it's the same rule for everything, you know. I think I read this a while ago where they said, like, you know, if you do a podcast, most podcasts stop after 3 episodes. And if you make it beyond the 21st episode, you're already in the top 5% of all podcasts. Because most people quit before. It's the same with like doing, you know, sharing stuff on social media, trying to build an audience anywhere pretty much, right? You have to be consistent. And no matter what happens, you have to stick to it. And take it from there. I think this is, yeah, that's the way to go. Okay, so I like this, but I still have this kind of bright area inside. I want to have be it like very dark. So what I will do actually is just place an object, maybe a plane, just a simple plane inside, and make this like very, very black. Maybe put this in a null as well, in case we need more of that later on. And now we just make a material, make it black. Easy as that. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Simple fix. Yeah, let's call this character. I called it samurai, but now it looks more like a geisha. But let's stick to samurai for now. Working title. Maybe even push it forward. Okay, not that much. It's fine. Yeah, I think that's already doing what I wanted it to do. So I'm good with that. I'm really happy about the way it turned out. Far from being done, but definitely a good start. So I make a different material for the eye area because I think this could look cooler if it's more glossy. I feel maybe a little bit brighter. Let's test that. I thought it would catch like a specific highlight or so. Maybe I have to place some lights like with more precision. So let's make this brighter. That already helps, I feel. I feel like this whole eye area just became one flat mass of black, and I didn't want that. Maybe it's even red. Also interesting. I'm just a huge fan of like orange, yellow, between the two-ish. This reflects the light like so much better as well. Now we have these nice highlights on the eyelids. The thing is, I already have a light on top from the HDRI I used. The HDRI has a very strong top light, but yeah, maybe with a certain angle, this could already create some nice yeah, now you're right. Now the eyelids are much more pronounced, but I don't like what it does to the rest of the rendering. Or maybe I just have to decrease the power a lot. No, I'll leave it for now. Okay, but I like this like little dot of yellow in there. Yeah, I know. I could place it closer to the head, just here. I could also add some octane tags to make it only affect the iPod, which would also be like totally fine. But I don't want to focus on that too much. I want to focus on like finishing this scene up because I'm already 2 hours in. And one reason is that I've sculpted or modeled 2 hours now, but the other reason is I'm getting hungry. And I'm the kind of person that gets hangry. So at some point, I'm getting mad. You can also focus light on separate objects. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by it, but I think you mean the same thing that I said with the layers of lights just affecting one object, or? I thought I'm the only one. No, I actually have friends complaining. They're like, "Oh my god, damn, Nick, you're hungry," and some of them are like, "Dude, Nick is hungry. We have to get him some food." You know, I know what he turns into, so they learned the lesson. They learned their lesson. That's why you stopped the stream. You eat at the moment. Smart choice. Definitely a smart choice. So to finish this up, let's see if maybe a background color would actually help. And what kind of value we want. We want something brighter, I feel, but not too bright. So I think the value is right about here. Less or more saturated? Probably less saturated because I like the high saturated red area we have. If we have less saturation, can we go darker? No. I feel like this is interesting. But maybe we can now play with like the color itself. Actually like the contrast of the green. Green red, very classic, but with more blue in it and not too intense. Oh no, I kind of like it this way, to be honest. And sometimes I click like the colors or make the color changes too fast and then it crashes and I just realized that I have not saved. Ah. Whew, it's saved. Your girlfriend does the same? Yeah, so you know. Pink. I don't know. I turned more like desaturated into this kind of yellowish area, and I didn't like it. And I feel like that's the same area where the pink or very bright red would be. I also tried red, I think. I'll stick with the green for now. Because I like it now, and I also say to myself, like, if I can do something with green, I'll just do it, because I feel like green is like my least used color. And I overall like green. I don't know why I don't use it. Maybe I actually have like problems of pulling a certain style off or like working with green. I don't know. It's a mystery. So yeah, I'm kind of a fan of these white or black planes for like work in progress stuff. No, actually white here is quite good. But much bigger. Bigger looks good. And we also have the color in here, because right now the background shines through, which I think is pretty cool to have this in green. And if we go like make this like very big, it's all white. It's not bad. But now we lose this kind of sense, you know, of looking through the character, I feel. And this is not, the white is not like pure white, it's very like saturated because it actually catches light or has like some shadow on it, you know, especially here in the lower part. So I could create like a toon material, or I give it like a little emission. But I think then it's about if it faces the camera or not. That's kind of weird, right? It worked on the outer part, but the inner one is still not facing me, even though I switched here. I bet if I turn it, it is like very white. Yeah, that's kind of weird because this is actually what these buttons do, right? Does it work here? Nope. Because it just emits light into like one direction. I actually like that it catches the light down here a little bit, but the Japan flag incoming? Yeah. I actually didn't think about it, but you're so right. Yeah, kind of funny that that this happened. This would look actually good in red because the white catches too much attention. But let's leave it like that for now because overall I like it. It's not done, but I like it. Is there something we can still do to the eyes? I will not model eyes now. But we definitely have them both in here as well, so we should merge them together. Is it better if they are dark? I think that actually doesn't help. So just a glossy, bright material, a little brighter. Or maybe very reflective. Oh, yes, that looks good. Not too reflective, but something like this. A little subtle. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we did it. I think that's it for today's stream. Ah, I'm really happy with this one. Probably like more stuff I can do. Especially like the whole bottom part. I can imagine actually doing some cloth that could look very, very nice. Probably also breaking the symmetry with the cloth. You know, I think when they have like their traditional clothes on, it's also like just on top of each other, like folded, right? Just one big piece of cloth, and then could look very nice as well. And you have 120 points? Pog. So worth it. So worth it. Okay, I think that the last thing I'll do is I just attach some very quick and easy earrings here. Nothing too fancy. Let's see. Maybe in red. No, probably just like a smaller one right here. I love this new place feature. It's so cool. But it's facing way too much forward. So I would cheat a little here. Just turn it a little more into the camera. And create some caps. And throw it into a symmetry object, and then we're done with the earrings. I think it has a nice touch. Yeah. The longer I look at it, the more I see things that I would like to change. Like, you know, this part here, this chest part. Also, let's just call the chest for now. What if this has another color, like yellow? Already feels better, but it's very intense. See, guys, it's very hard to stop. Maybe we can use the green here from the background. So it's more bluish, a little desaturated. I like the fact that it's darker. We can't get too bright here. It would be weird for the like values we have here. Something like that. Maybe even more desaturated? No. I think that's good for now. Yes, I like it. Better than the gray, I feel. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I definitely had a blast. I was super exhausted when I started because I worked so much today. But thank you guys so much for keeping me company and like having some like fun talks. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And see you next week. Tops. Man, I just had to go offline for a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's crazy what happens when you like put it all into Cinema4D with some materials, some lighting that changes the whole vibe of it. But yeah, very happy with the result. Thank you so much. See you next week, guys. Bye.